Good evening, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, whatever the time zone is in your neighborhood. We say welcome to our 192nd broadcast here in the Issues Room, the production that comes on Tuesdays and Fridays, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 11 p.m. in Liberia. And of course, we're happy to be in Liberia tonight, broadcasting live and covering these national elections and the results coming day by day. And of course, the numbers continue to increase. And so tonight, the issues room will be broadcasting and discussing these numbers coming up, the sentiments around them, the way the public is viewing, the pace by which the National Elections Commission is making those presentations, and also other things, other issues. As you can see, it's night side here in Monrovia, 11 p.m., a little past 11 p.m., and the fatigue is showing as usual in my face after a long day of hauling and pulling. While my colleagues in the U.S. are having the evening snacks and just chilling. And I don't know how fair is that. I should be sleeping by now, but the two guys there just chilling. Moses sent me tickets in an opposite direction, acting like he doesn't know what's going on the grounds. Gentlemen, welcome. You can see how sleepy I look, but the sacrifice we're making. The Liberian people have spoken, on October 2nd, but irrespective of that, we're still edgy, when you think about the pace by which these numbers are coming. And as of now, the existential anxiety around what will happen in the coming days. Of course, fortunately for me, I was at the Elections Commission yesterday when the day two of the numbers were presented. And in fact, one of the journalists had asked, why is the pace slow? And the commissioner, Madam Davietta Brown, who is the head, said that I think we have 15 days constitutionally. And so I guess it sounded like we should be thankful at least we're getting some numbers. They could have not put up numbers on probably till next week. So let's talk about it tonight. Welcome, gentlemen, from your end. As I said, it's nice side here, and it's of course nice side on your end, but you have a little earlier time in the time zone. I believe 4 hours in the difference. Welcome.
Thank you. Uh, Let me say hi to everyone out there. It's a pleasure. I think I'm hearing myself in the background. Where's the echo
Go
coming
ahead.
from?
Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. So, as I was saying, it's a pleasure to be back. Let me say hi to the many viewers wherever you are. Kindly do us a favor, share the link, invite more people. Today, we come to give you updates to also give you information about other things that are obtaining in the country. Like you said, Volcano, the anxiety, the tension in the country is actually, building up. It's building up. We're getting videos, we're getting reports about war, people talking about, another crisis, people bringing in rebels from Grand Judah. And there's this report that accuses the current administration of bringing in, as generals. I don't know the reason why, but fingers have been pointed at the president. So these are issues that we'll be delving into tonight. So I'd like to join you, Alfonso and Volcano, as we ready to discuss Liberia tonight. So it's a pleasure being here.
Thank you, Moses. Thank you, Volcano. Volcano, I
Sure.
think we need to start putting together a journalism award. Ask the Alja. Fortunately, we have Alja past president here tonight. But I think I will put a petition into Aja that you should get a special award. You're doing a wonderful, wonderful job. I've seen reports that you've been sending in from Liberia, which is great, informing our viewers here. But then also on Tuesdays and Fridays at night, you rather than you sleeping, you are up and also on the show with us. So congratulations, thank you. I'm sure our viewers appreciate that. I'm sure the Liberian people appreciate that. Yep. So that's definitely something going on in Liberia that's very important. The election process, as we've always said, the way these elections go could determine, the future of the country. It could undermine our peace, or it could destroy our peace. So definitely, I'm happy to be here. Yeah, and let's kick it off.
Thank you.
You. So listen, man, welcome to the show. For those of you who are joining us tonight, we say thank you, Ferjid Monyu, Mohammed Kroma, who is watching from Springfield, Pennsylvania. Good evening and welcome to the show here tonight. It's a pleasure having you folks. Continue to share the link, invite others here tonight to be a part of this conversation. We have come again to talk about Liberia and what is trending. Gentlemen, listen, uh, the fact that I'm on the grounds doesn't mean that I have all the information, especially when I'm out there in the day and the way the data operates here, So sometimes I'm not, the closest to everything because social media has taken over. In Liberia, the preeminence of social media is just good for these elections. Um,
Absolutely.
is it true that everything that is coming out uh, is good? No. But in the same vein, everything they're talking about here have some kind of connection to the day-to-day events. So some of the things we want to quickly look at and review are the numbers and where the standings are. Let's start from there, Moses, and I'm sure you have those tabulated already. I can see you looking on your uh, cheat sheet there. But let's start
Yeah.
with that. And I think I was in conversation prior to coming on the show, and people are getting afraid now that the number is kind of tightening up. And this guy by the name of Alperton, where did he come from? That's the big concern on the grounds. The big concern. Who is
That's the concern.
Alperton?
Yeah, that's the
Where
concern.
is Alperton coming from? Mr. Alexander Cummings, who has gone through two elections now, making this the second. And I was there hoping that he would have gotten 15%, a little increase of 8% from his 7%. It looks like he might just get 2 or 3%. And Alperton is sowing. Is Apiton a surrogate of the present regime? Was he planted in there? Uh, People are also speculating that the votes that is being counted for Apiton could be for Mr. Boyka, and because they are one and two, there could be any kind of erroneous, report, or the people who went to vote, the non the rather illiterate people who could not really distinguish, just went and checked box, and so Apiton is sucking all those votes and making a mess. So let's start from there, but let's talk about the standings.
Yeah. Quickly on Apiton, what I know is that actually when we talk about Liberian politics, especially at the level of the presidency, the name Apiton is a strange name. He's a stranger. He works for Enfield. Uh, one of the health institutions owned and operated by the Liberian government. I think he's a public health specialist. So he worked there, pu- managing, public health data. That's the little I know of him. From what we see now, he has made significant inroad. He's even at a level where that Mr. Cumming was being around since 2016 cannot even come closer. When Cumming in some areas, Cumming doesn't get votes, and Appleton gets, votes. So it's like he's becoming, or he has become, a very significant figure. So I've heard a lot of people concerned about who is this guy, and where all these numbers coming from. Again, like you said, Volcano, there are other who are of the view that maybe the way the ballot papers, the way the candidates are being arranged, that could be something that rather work in his favor, because most of our people are illiterate. So when the UP people always tell the people, I mean, they told the people, say vote number two, vote number two. So when the guys when they counted 1 to 2 and they saw this gentleman sitting closer to Mr. Boaka, I'm just being hypothetical. Yeah, I'm just assuming. There are people who hold a view that when they saw Mr. Boaka, and this guy at the same level, maybe they just assume that that Mr. Boaka's vice presidential candidate, and they mark, you know, they voted for him erroneously. That could be, but again, it's very very difficult to prove that on the poll workers and those who were at the various polling centers can clearly articulate what really is happening regarding Mr. Appleton. But we said it's a luck for him. Now let's look at the numbers. Today, the NEC had a news conference and they released the numbers.
But Moses,
Yes.
I comment on Appleton before we
Okay.
do?
Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah.
So I was actually looking for a posting, a message sent by a young man, a gentleman in Liberia, who on the first day actually after election, because he said he was at a polling place. I can't find it right now, and I'll look later. And he said he noticed that uh, he posted, the ballot paper and said he noticed that, some votes were being from Black Eye were being marked for Appleton. And he posted that and raised that concern on Facebook. He said he tried to raise that concern with some NEC officials, but nobody listened. So he posted it on Facebook, and I sent him a message on Facebook as well because I don't have his number or contact. So I just sent a message and said that is something that deserves to be looked into. But that was way before, so I'm surprised that it's continuing. Mr. Appleton is
Yeah.
still
It's really
getting
making progress.
a
Actually.
lot of votes and making progress. But that is something that needs to be looked into. Volcano, I think you made a point. Appleton is number one, and Black Eye is number two. So they're very close together. So and then I don't know how close Cummings is to them as well, because some Cummings
Yeah,
people
he's number three because
is
he's coming.
number three. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I think marking one instead of two
Yeah.
is more feasible or understandable than marking three.
Yeah. And the
Yeah,
people kept
because
saying
you
vote
have the
number two,
jungle
vote
book
number
black eye
two.
to mark
Yeah.
coming for
Yeah.
Appleton. Yeah,
Yeah.
so it could be that Mr. Appleton is getting some of black eye's vote now. Might it be deliberate on the part of election people to suck votes away from black eye? That is something to look into. Might it be that voters made an error? Maybe that too. I hope that. But this raises a bigger picture. That has, maybe we can go into that later. That has to do with the transparency of the tabulation process. What are they doing? Are they just looking at the papers, tally sheets, and marking votes, or are they going through ballot papers again to determine what people actually voted for? I think that transparency doesn't exist currently with the election commission counting process. That's something that needs to be looked into.
But what
But
interesting in all of this, just quickly before Moses goes to the numbers, is
yeah.
that we didn't even see a doggone campaign of Appleton.
Appleton, exactly.
Hey, there was no campaign. I looked all around for the
No.
guy's campaign.
No.
I
No.
saw I saw Clarence Momolu. He pulled a little bit of nice crowd.
No.
I saw Alexander Cummings had a black party. You know, you know, I saw Tiawon Gonglo, so who the heck is Apeton? Where did he
Yeah.
just come from?
Mm-hmm.
Without, I mean, so like you said, mayor log or share log or
Yeah,
higher.
man. Yeah, man. Look,
So
man.
that means we playing the lottery. You know, so we playing the lottery. But yeah, go ahead, Mama.
Yeah, but look, yeah, man. Sometimes things happen. They say every disappointment is a blessing, right? So who knows? This could be share, log on the side of Mr. Aviton, and I was wondering. I said, but all this investment that Mr. Cummings made, man, and we just can't hear the name Arizona Cummings. So,
What are the numbers, Moses?
so today some numbers were released out there, and I would just look at the Unity Party and the CDC.
You want to talk about
Uh,
Avid again?
I mean, he's he's
He's
he's obviously going nowhere. So let us not worry about him. Let us not worry about Councillor Gonglo, who is in the fourth place. Because these people, in fact, Gonglo has already conceded. So let's look at the two, you know, uh, prominent political parties. So based on the data that was released today, our Unity Party, as per today's data, in terms of stronghold, Unity Party has really been able to demonstrate that in Bome, in Lofa, and Nimba. Uh, for example, in Lofa County, the Unity Party beat the CDC right now as I speak to you with 24,843. That's the number for now
that's
for
the
Unity
overall
Party.
I'm coming out.
The
That's the
overall
overall
number for
count
for yeah,
up to now.
up to
And
now.
that
That's
is
that's why.
that is how many percent out of Lofa County?
Yeah. Well, I didn't put into
Do that.
percentages,
Okay.
yeah, but that's the number that it
So
released.
what does CCC have?
Okay. CDC had 12,000. That's a huge difference right there. And in Nimba County, based on the tally right now, Unity Party has been able to demonstrate, significant strength. The party has been able to accumulate 33,857. For the CDC in that same era, the number for CDC in Nimba, let me just quickly look at my cheat sheet here. Um, CDC, guys, just give me a break. Okay. All right. Yeah. CDC, a little over 12,000. A little over 12,000 in Nimba. Now, let's look at where the CDC has been able to also demonstrate significant strength. In Maryland County, so far, CDC has been able to accumulate 11,056 votes. I didn't do the comparison with the Unity Party, but uh, Maryland, the CDC is sitting pretty well. In Grand Cook County, I would say almost 100% of the votes uh, in the field of uh, 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 the CDC. I think in Grand Crew, um, the Unity Party got something like 444 votes in Grand Crew County. In Sino, the CDC is also comfortable. The CDC is also in a comfortable position in Rewa G as well. Now, where I have seen the two parties competing is in Montserrat County. In Montserrat County, the data shows that As of now, the CDC is leading the United Party. Quickly, let me get my data right here, and I can give you the number quickly. Okay, yeah. As I speak to you right now, the CDC has 86,812 votes in
What unity
Montserrat.
party has?
United Party has 77,142. 77,142. So there's serious competition between the two
What
parties.
were those numbers again?
United Party 77,142. The CDC is 86,812. Okay. In Bond County, and I think that is very impressive in terms of performance for the United Party, even though, yeah, the United Party, yeah, performed very, very good in Bone County because, the sitting vice president comes from Bone County. So the United Party has been able to accumulate 22,222 votes. And the ruling CDC has accumulated 21,973 votes. Then in Bome, the United Party is also making significant progress. The United Party leads the CDC in Bome County. I didn't bring the number with me, but the data really shows that the party did well. In Grand Bassa County,
So I know that I also, instead of dwelling on
mhm,
that, because I
yeah,
know that CDC is in the lead in Grand Bassa County,
yeah, in Grand Bassa County,
but
yeah, go ahead.
the CDC is in the lead. So let's just disregard even the numbers. But what I wanted to say quickly here is when you go back to the census,
Yeah,
when people were already saying that the censor had some flaws
yeah,
because the
the way the
CDC
numbers, yeah,
government decided to increase the number in the southeastern to
hmm,
wipe out or probably balance out with Nimba County,
that could be,
because historically Nimba County has always swallowed up that
yeah,
entire region. And
yeah,
so, like, let's put the numbers up so it makes it look real. But
yeah,
these representation of the numbers coming from the southeastern bloc are actual people who went on the line to vote. That's the first thing.
okay,
Speculations is that could they have carried pre-populated ballots because of the constant uh, difficulties that that region faced when it came to the elections. You
hmm,
know, you and I know what happened. Many of the precincts were unreachable. There were delays in the elections, and so all of those things have their own, implications in how the Liberian people are interpreting it. So as it is right now, from the numbers you call, I don't think that there is a wide gap.
no, the gap is not too wide.
And so
Yeah, hmm,
Mr. Weah make up for that gap in the southeastern. If he having to get almost 100% of the votes in many of the counties within that region, and plus Montserrado is still a tick for tack
yeah,
with Bone County and a little bit of Buchanan. So it's kind of like difficult as it is right now. So I don't know how people are perceiving this, but I think what CDC is trying to push for
it's
is
to narrow the
no,
gap.
no, yeah, yeah. But I mean to go to runoff because that the whole mantra of we flog them again, we flog them before. The president not talking again, not flogging them. He is wondering if he's the one getting flogged. And so all they're doing now, just praying to go into the runoff, and so they're hoping that all of
Yeah,
these counts will narrow the gap and hopefully get them to the next home. So
yeah,
I
So
mean,
yeah, I
right,
think
yeah.
right,
I
as
Oh,
much
think
but
as we
quickly,
are,
Alfonso, let me just pass this information. And for Ghana, I want you to please keep track of,
go
if
ahead,
someone
brother.
is in the back.
Go ahead.
Mr. Ducle is supposed to be joining us. Yeah, but go ahead. So just keep track on that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think given the numbers that have been reported so far, really they're very negligible for anybody to make any determination right now. Just looking at the numbers reported by NEC. Of course,
Hmm.
there are other sources that have been reporting numbers, etc. But if you look at what NEC reported, that's about 25.93%. Let's say 26%. You were just talking about Montserrat,
Hmm.
Moses.
Yeah.
It's 6,000, 812, 77,142. I'm sure other candidates got some numbers here and there. But if you
Yeah.
just add those two numbers, you get 163,954. Now, bear in mind, close to a million people registered to
Yeah.
vote in Montserrat.
Mm-hmm. In
I mean, I
Montserrat,
don't
yeah.
expect all 914,000 people to vote, but at least given the trend of voting the past two, three elections, I would say I extrapolate that about 75% of those people would turn out to vote.
But let me quickly add to you, Alfonso, that there was a massive turnout.
Oh
People
Yeah.
yeah.
came
The,
out.
the
Okay.
turnout was
I
very
want to
So
impressive.
emphasize.
75 to 80%. So 163 is really, let's even make it a 200,000 by giving the other people 100,000 voters, which is not the case. But just if you even push it to 200,000, you still have a lot of people who haven't been counted. So any numbers out there right now are non-determinant.
But let's look at this. For Flomo Livingston asks a very good question, and I have contemplated if there were difficulties in the southeast. Now, how are they bringing these numbers
This
quicker than
number,
other
so yeah,
places?
especially like
Think
Sino
about it.
County.
Yeah, think about it. It's right there.
Sino, yeah,
Yeah.
there was
Why
a
is
Yeah.
neck?
fraud
Why is neck
Well,
able to get this
mhm.
number compared
so
to the
quickly. Hmm.
you know?
Yeah, so
So
quickly.
that's my concern with the neck. In terms of the pace at which they're announcing the results. And I started doing some calculations today. If you,
Particularly not the pace, but particularly from the southeast. The
yeah, yeah,
pace seems to
exactly.
be
So the two things: one,
it seems to
west,
be outpacing the other
Yeah,
other,
places.
yeah,
including
and
Monserrato,
the
which is right there. So, for instance, which is very concerning. But if you also look at the pace at which they've so far, the I mean, 3 days in 3 days they have announced just 25% of the thing. That means that they will need the next what? How many weeks for them to
They
announce?
got 15 days. They got 15
yeah,
days. So
Yeah,
yeah,
two.
man.
Yeah,
Let me show you guys just to buttress the point you're making. Right, this is for River Says and Sino County. The very elections commission complained about this situation in this place. Oh, okay. Be going on. Let me just get it. The video was coming, but something happened. You can be talking. Let me say it quickly.
yeah,
Go
so,
ahead.
so I mean, so the concern here is what it is. You have had difficulties holding the elections up there, but in the nick of time, you are presenting all of these numbers coming from the southeastern region.
Mhm.
When Monserrate is right here, when the other places are here. So explain to me what's going on.
What's going on? You know
I was
how
going.
you getting the data
I was
to
going
the
to go to
people.
the
Yeah,
NEC
yeah. Go
website,
ahead.
but
Why I put this data? Go ahead.
the NEC website is down. So it's even down. You can't go to it
Yeah,
right now.
I try to go there too, and it
Mhm.
is also down. So I really don't understand what is going on because San O'Connor went to the pool a day after the election. And I was
Some parts
shocked
of
that
Kanye, I
today,
should say.
yeah, and I was shocked that today they released, a very huge number. I think over 11,000 votes coming from San County. So what is the magic yet? These people have a glitch. You have Montserrat County, you have Grand Cape Mount County right there. The Elections Commission has not even started, announcing results from Grand Cape Mount County. Montserrat, most of the voting precincts, The Elections Commission has not started announcing results from them, but they are going to Grand Crew County, going to Sino,
The place
going
where,
to
the place where Cairo can go. The
River
place
G.
where the
Yeah, you're
river
going to
cut.
River G. You're going to River Says that had a flood. What's going on? Go ahead, Alfonso.
So I don't think that, yeah, that's a concern. That is a concern, definitely. But I don't think it should be a big concern. And here's the reason why I say so. Again, if political parties did their jobs and had, monitors or observers at the polling places, and observe and sign the tally sheets and got copies of the tally sheets and turn the tally sheets over to to whoever in their political party that should be in possession of the tally sheets. I don't think that should be a problem. That is concerning. That is interesting that they're announcing other places, but there's no regulation, there's no law that says announce this place, result from this place, for announce this place. I understand there should be difficulty in terms of getting results from those places.
From areas
Why
that are
aren't
considered.
you announcing the places near you before you going over there?
Yeah.
But before the
And
election was up,
the places you're
before,
going to,
yeah,
I'm coming,
mm,
are the so-called strong Moses. Are
Yeah,
the
I'm sorry.
so-called strong is are the so-called mute yourself if you're going to do that.
Yeah, I was
Are
trying
the,
to say
are
something.
the
Go ahead.
so-called are the so-called stronghold of the president. The places you bringing all those results from.
Mhm.
So is it a tactic to bring us to an equilibrium with what is trending on the UP side and what is coming up from the southeastern bloc? Think about it. Why are you so concerned about the vote being released from the southeast compared to the places that are closer to? I have not heard anything like Moses said from Cape Mount.
No,
Cape Mount
nothing.
is drive
Eh,
away
eh,
from me.
eh, Let me show you guys this video, if you mind, please, so you can see what we're talking about. You see it?
It's not clear.
You
I,
got it? Do you see it?
I could have played it from our end.
Okay. You see?
It's not clear. Just
Oh, you
move
want
it.
me to send it to you? Eh?
Yeah, just move it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. By the way, the results are coming in gradually, and I listened to Eric Kennedy, the journalist that you made reference to, and Diana, as usual, and she told that man, oh, you know that we have 15 days. You know, she was just so indifferent that, oh, you don't have to worry about that. I mean, it's like we all in school, a professor assigned paper to you, that the paper is due in 2 weeks, but you have ample time on hand. Yeah, you say you're not going to start writing the paper until when it's just a day to the time of submission. That's what the chairman was trying to tell Mr. Kennedy yesterday, and I don't think the way she came across it was actually appropriate, because, like we said earlier, right now you have this anxiety in the country. Everybody wants to know. There's a lot of tension. People are not going to work.
Moses, that's not the issue. I think the technical aspect of these votes being
Hmm.
counted and to ensure that they're meticulously done so that the numbers can be accurate and represented well should be our concern. And that's why they have the 15-day stretch. The concern here is why, in all of this conundrum with regards to the southeastern region being
Giving
almost
priority, yeah.
almost unreachable, why is the priority set forth in that in
Hmm.
that region
Vision,
when
yeah,
you have other places right around here? In fact, give all the vote for Monserrato County
yeah.
so we can put Monserrato County behind us.
Behind us, yeah,
Give all the vote for bombing so we can have the
yeah.
but you focus on this southeastern and bringing this thing so that it can create some kind of balance, and I think that's the concern here. Go ahead, Alfonso. You were saying something before Moses tried to play his video.
yeah, Moses has cut me off
No,
multiple
go
times.
ahead. Sorry about that. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's very passionate about his points. Um,
Mhm.
That is concerning, as I was saying. It's concerning because we expect, given the bad road conditions, that the votes coming from the southeast will arrive late. However, they were able to get them to Monrovia, or however they are able to announce them now, is something of concern. But the other point I was trying to make is, in spite of all of that, if the Unity Party or the CPP or LPP won votes in Nimba and in Bomi and in Montserrado and in Cape Mount, uh, our major concern should be that those votes are accurately counted and accurately reported. And if that happens, they are likely to trump the votes coming out of the Southeast anyway. So in that case, it
Yeah.
wouldn't matter which numbers are announced first. We all knew going into this election that Mr. Weir was going to win the Southeast. That Mr. Weir is part of one of Mr. Weir's strongholds.
The
So
entire
whether
Southeast, yeah.
so whether the votes from the Southeast are announced first or not announced last shouldn't really be of a major concern to us,
I
even
think it should,
though,
I think it should be, and Alfonso, you hold your thought
yeah,
there quick. I don't want us to build on the premise that we
yeah,
are from the southeast holds a strong hold on the southeast. If the Liberian people are resolved that we are did nothing across
mhm,
the country for them, then
yeah,
of course. So the fact that we're building on this, believing that we are takes the southeast, so then you've already given the cushion to these elections results to make the case. And I think that thinking this way is wrong because we've already started to
but
give hope.
Volcano,
Now, I'm just
Volcano,
saying, I'm just saying.
okay,
Yeah,
yeah, I know, but
yeah, but
sorry to cut you off. But if you
no,
even
no,
listen to the Unity Party people, if you listen to Unity Party people
Again,
announcing
again,
their numbers,
they're selling
they
the.
are
They're
also
selling,
saying the same thing. And guess
but
what? They have tally sheets in their hands, and they are
yeah,
saying that we won much of the service. So there's not speculation. Unity Party has tally sheets in their hands that said, if you listen to the two former members of the election commission, former chairman Fromoyan
from
and
yeah,
former member
Weeder,
Weeder,
Jonathan.
Jonathan Weeder, they were given numbers today, and they said with the tally sheets in their possession from the southeast, Mr. Weir won the southeast significantly. They said that. So this is not
Mhm.
something that anybody is making up or whatever. Now, if they did not, if the Unity Party or the other parties did not have observers in the southeast, and the CDC went and went through the election commission and have pre-marked ballots, that's wrong, but that is also due to their failure. We've been talking this thing ever since about political parties being represented at polling places because if you're not there, you leave room for what? For fraud and for cheating. I saw in 1997 when the other political parties didn't have people at polling places right outside Monrovia, all the way into Banga, the people were marking ballots. I saw Egomo people, I saw other people marking ballots for voters and putting them in the ballot boxes. So again, I hope that political parties have representatives at the various polling places, and that they got their tally sheets and their tally sheets are secure, and they can go to court tomorrow, or they can even publish their tally sheets.
Or the
First of
tally
all, there's
sheets are
no
there.
law. There's no law. I read the election law. There's no law in Liberia that says that it nobody else can talk about voter results or published results. The only thing the law says is the election commission is close with the authority to
Declares.
publish official results and declare
Yeah.
winners. That's it.
Hmm.
But if you have your tally sheets and you know where the votes are coming from, you can announce them. You can publish them. If I were
Yeah,
any of
yeah,
those parties, I would be buying spaces in newspapers and putting printouts of my tally sheets in the newspaper right now so everybody can see.
yeah. Because this delay is causing more problem. I'm sure some of you may have heard about even some of the things that are happening in the country now. Before coming to this podcast, I have a video here that I would like to play for you guys.
You
That came from Nimba County. Eh?
you can't play video.
Okay,
Yeah,
there was this report that at one of
probably send
the
that to.
NEC offices in Nimba County, a group of individuals believed to be CDC supporters went in there and tried to force themselves into the compound. They even asked some of the elections workers not to enter the place. And what I'm telling you, so yeah, in the video you can see that this thing happened evening hour. And there was also another report that I saw, I mean, that I heard on Spoon TV, that at the Golden Keys Hotel, where where the UP has is a tally center, where they tally all of the election results and all of that. There was a report that a group of thugs went there and caused another confusion. So there are a lot of things that are happening in the country. There's another report that yesterday, Mr. Weir allegedly sent his helicopter to Grand Judah County to bring in some generals, including the former Ulimo commander, what is guy name? Kai Fale, something like that. Yeah, he brought in some other. He reportedly brought in some other former generals, from Grand Judah County. The reason for which those people came, no one knows, and the tension is building up in the country. So, in the wake of this situation, what makes the situation even more scary is that since the election came to an end, the president, who remains in charge of the political situation in Liberia, has said nothing to even reassure Liberians that, hey, we're going through election. It is important that everyone observes and adhere to election laws while we go through this process. But the president is like, he doesn't even live in Liberia. Hmm?
Yeah.
What do you think, Jeremy?
So let's move on to the thought around where we are. We had 20 candidates, and I thought to throw this in quick. Um,
Okay.
Yawon Gonglo has set the tune that, listen, I'm not going anywhere. If man like Apeton not take over, what the need of me sitting there and still having hope? And Alphonso, man, and so
Yeah.
Tewon, called his press briefing yesterday, and he said, my people, y'all, thank you
I'm
for
gonna tell you.
everything you did for
Yeah.
me. I am packing up now because it's here. If I keep doing it, that money I'm spending and I ain't got enough. The small one I left, let me just hold on to it, yeah, and watch the weather. So I am getting out of the race.
Yeah.
I think it's a great way to start. And all the other candidates that have been having 0.00.00.00 results, they need to start coming up so we can know who are already out. To be frank,
I respect him for that. I rather respect Councillor Gonglo for what he did for Canada. I mean, he actually demonstrated leadership, that he didn't go into this race all about himself.
hmm
He did it because he had a vision for a better Liberia. But then he concluded that, hey, from the data, from what I see, it's like we didn't do well.
and if
So
men
there's
like
nothing.
no, but the more important thing I want you to add, if
Yeah,
men like Appleton
Appleton can come and
lead
put me in
me,
the fourth place.
yeah, then
Yeah,
it's correct. I wasting my time. Appleton from nowhere, you beating
yeah,
me.
and come and put you in the fourth place,
So
my man.
what's the need of me hanging around? So I think Councillor Gonglo did remarkably well
Mhm.
by saying, "Listen, we're done with this. The small money I got, let me just hold on to it. And anything we can regroup. But
Where
for
you
the
get money from?
meantime, but the small money I left, my man, but he
Oh,
ain't
you
coming out.
need
Yeah, he ain't coming out sit down and be
Eh,
hopeful. Already in the lead.
bro. Oh,
but
but maybe the man spent
look,
all the
Joey,
money on the campaign.
Yeah, but nothing there again to keep holding on to. So I think
yeah,
I think what we're seeing here is that many of the other candidates, the one in
the
the
top doors.
like I said, 0.0010.00.00. You don't see points in all the different points. Let them just come
All those
to
zeros, eh?
see the defeat, and
Mhm.
then so we can start narrowing the gap. and go from there. But I just thought to throw that in as something to
Yeah.
contemplate
No,
because
I think it's an honorable thing for
to
Councilor
do.
Gonglo to have stepped
Yeah.
aside. Mr. Cummings and the CPP haven't done that. I saw a statement from them yesterday that expressed concern that his people said that even in places where they went to vote,
Yeah.
that the amount of votes that they expected there is
They
not
didn't get
turning
it.
out in their
Mm.
column. So
Hmm.
they are concerned about that. So
Yeah.
they are expressing concern about the process, thinking that maybe some of their votes have been taken away from them, or either intentionally or through calculation errors. And then of course we have Mr. Appleton who came from nowhere and is gaining votes. So all of these are concerning situations. But what is very, very concerning to me is the delay by
Yeah.
the
The
election
delay.
commission
But the
in
elections commission. Yeah.
if
The
the
delay.
election commission continues at this pace. My understanding is that they've released about 25% of the votes as of today.
The
If you
delay
take
is
three
not
days, even
necessary.
though the law doesn't say you must announce the votes over a 15-day period. The law says the result must be
Within.
announced within. If you can
Hmm.
announce it, and part of the reason when the law was written, we didn't have the technology we have today. We didn't
No.
have the level of transportation and fast speed internet services that we have today. Right now, an election magistrate can sit down in Zwedru and just, send a tally sheet to election commission head office in Monrovia. In the past, that wasn't the case. People had to jump on Renault buses and go through the mud. So they gave that 15-day period. So Mistress Deviera Brown Lasana's response that, oh, we have 15 days, I think is very arrogant, it's disingenuous, and it's very unprofessional. She could have said, we're doing our best to announce the results within a reasonable time frame. And they actually have a responsibility, given all of the tension on the ground, to make sure that results are announced as quickly as possible. Because if that doesn't happen, first of all, people start challenging the credibility of the election commission. Maybe they got something up their sleeves. That's why they're releasing the votes this slowly, and then they stop trusting the election process and saying that it's not fair. She should understand that. And it's in the interest of, like, remember, in the interest of peace, with all of the tension that is boiling up in the country, to really announce the results as quickly as possible and move on. The country deserves that. The Liberian people deserve that. And I think that if the election commission continues to delay, that political parties that have tally sheets in their hands should go ahead and start publishing results of the tally sheets. And I think that will even undercut, if assuming the election commission has anything nefarious under their sleeves, that will undercut that nefarious plan.
Yeah, and I think you're right. And here, Tonia Brooks also is asking why up to now Grand Cape Mount County votes are not in, for the presidency. And we talked about this, Tonia, if you just joining us, we talked about the obvious speed bringing in votes from the southeastern region that was unreachable just the other day with elections uh, being held.
Materials, yeah,
And
election
here we
badges.
are, we can get the data so quick, compared to uh, what is coming out of the other counties. But let's bring in Mr. Morris Dukley. He is in. Welcome to the issues room. Uh, we've been discussing. Hopefully, you were in the background and listening to us. We've covered some of the numbers so far. We also looked at who is Apiton, where did he come from, and is leading our man Tiawon Gonglo, leading our man Clarence Moniba, leading the big man, because we all along knew that is between Baka, uh, Mr. Weah, and followed by Cummings. But as we can see today, Cummings is nowhere, in this race. So we've also, talked about some of the uh, post violence coming out, and when we use the word post violence, we're not talking about war that have led to people being killed, but just the things that some of the people who are storming the different places and carrying on with the potential to put us into chaos. Moses also mentioned some of the stories coming out with President Weah using his helicopter to bring former generals to Monrovia. Why these
From
generals
Nigeria.
being gathered, and I say former warlords being gathered at this time. He also mentioned that even with everything that has happened, you would think the president would say something at least to the nation, to exercise, the citizens to exercise the patience and wait until the elections results are put forth by the commission. But no statement yet. So those are the things, and just to bring you up to speed. Welcome.
Welcome, Mr. Digley.
You're muted.
You're muted. We don't hear you. You're muted.
I said, thank you, Mr. Shelton. How is Liberia?
Well, I mean, I don't know more than you guys because you see more than me. That's the beauty. That's the beauty of the social media world. I won't come here and lie to you tonight, sir, that I know what's trending. As far as I know, my neighborhood, my area is quiet so far. Where I'm at, for the most part, even around the city center, the suburb areas, I haven't seen anything. Everyone is going about the normal businesses, except for the anxiety to hear these results and move on with their lives.
Yeah,
That's about it right now.
yeah. We pray that things remain normal, but these are really uncertain times in Liberia. I'd like to thank you for having me on your program. This is, I think, the third time I'm appearing.
Yeah.
If you guys recall, when I appeared the second time, my conversation was directed at David Brown. When I was growing up as a little boy, by the way my mother trained me, she was uh, a native woman. She always said to me, son, money's free, but the money must be your own, and you must get it correctly. You hear all kinds of stories, and I can understand the other will clearly be under pressure. But this is a time for leadership. It's pressure, our own well-being, and the peace and security of Liberia. And that is what I'm concerned about. So I want to start by just making first an appeal to President Weah. The last time you remember, I also said President Weah is a 56-year-old man, much, much, much younger than Morris Duclos, who's going to be 70 tomorrow.
And I think he's
Happy,
57 now. He just turned
yeah.
57 October 1st.
Happy
Okay,
free
but
birthday,
even that,
Mr. Digley.
yeah,
Happy
thank
free
you.
birthday. Yeah.
Thank you.
Sure.
He's 57. You got a long life to live. It depends.
Yeah.
Because he could leave this presidential term, like many do, go reform himself, uh, rebrand himself, come back. He's still our soccer icon. And contest, he could win. Memories fade. After 6 years, the Liberian people are going to forget the how they feel now. This was not against George Weah personally, but against all the things that his administration did to the people of Liberia that he probably knew of or had no control over his the men who govern with him. And so he is the victim. But my advice to President Weah, he's showing in the past that he loves Liberia. He must continue to love Liberia. He must not be tempted by the law of power. He should Just accept if he's defeated, accept and go into retirement for 6 years, uh, and then you can make a comeback. With David, you hear all kinds of, rumors that she's been offered $2 million. But David has just totally shocked me. The arrogance that David is manifesting is not the David I knew. I mean, sympathy with the pressure that she's under. So I also come to appeal to David for the sake of our country. Just remember when you arrive at Apapa Wharf, fleeing from war. Remember that the condition you live in squalor, the refugee camps. Remember that. Liberia has had too many conflicts over the past 25 years, and the people are tired. Our people are tired. Our people are tired. They want no more war. So I plead with the other to do the right thing. This Appleton man that they created from nowhere, except that he comes from Maryland, he didn't campaign. I don't remember seeing Appleton campaign anywhere. Gonglo, who went to every nook and cranny of the country, couldn't perform to expectation. Cummings has been here for 12, 13 years now, running for president. He couldn't come. He's not even featuring anywhere. And the third thing is that the other is cherry picking the release of the results. She's trying to establish a narrative. And there's not, may peace be to his soul, Ambassador Ember Hammond, whom I revere. But this is not his time where he could put all the ballots into boxes and take to Hotel Africa to count by himself. Everything is under a microscope. So the must not attempt anything. My plea to her as a friend is stop that. Everybody can see through the games. You want to create a narrative to show that we is winning. We all copy the numbers when the votes will be counted at the county level. There are many Liberians with statistics on the elections. You can't cook the number. You can't manipulate the number. You can give it 100% Grand Cru. I know the population of Grand Cru. I know the villages in Grand Cru. It's sparsely populated.
And less than 70,000.
Yeah, it's sparsely populated. You guess what is it? 86%, something like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So she has established a narrative where we seems to be winning or running neck to neck with JNB.
Oh, my brother. Yeah.
But that is not what the elections show. The elections show that I'm not going to declare by my own interpretation because the partners have said we shouldn't. My final appeal is to the U.S. government, the EU. I was in Liberia throughout the war. I made a lot of sacrifices for the peace of the country. When the elections were held in 1997, Alhaji Nkrumah rejected the result. I went to him and said, "You cannot do that. If you do that, I will leave you." I will get out of the organization and condemn the action. He finally accepted. We have done a lot of stuff for the peace of the country. Liberia has peace. Liberia is recovering. We don't want any more war. So those who have influence on David Brown to tell her to give a real result. We know that's not the results she's giving. They are cooked numbers. I can say that. Finally, the president, if he allows one Liberian blood to be spilled, that blood will be on his hand. Because I know General Powell. I worked with him during the Ebola time when I was Minister of Internal Affairs. So generally, these are general comments I want to make uh, because it's just, this is clear. Bring report from River G, Grand Crew. You can bring report from Cape Mount. That is deliberate. And if she thinks she's wise, there are wiser people in Liberia. She's not even answering journalist questions. She's being arrogant. And I'm saying this with all the respect I have for her. She's just become arrogant. Is it the arrogance of power? The arrogance of ill-gotten wealth? But she must not bring war to our country. Because one person will not suffer. I'm appealing to David Brown. He is your friend from ELBC, Maurice Dukley. I'm begging you to give the real result. Who wins, wins. But don't try to cook the result. Don't try to manipulate releasing a result you think will not follow you. Because if you bring war to Liberia, you cause war to come to Liberia, you'll be held accountable. I can say that. The Liberian people hold you accountable. They are tired of war. So let all of us work for peace. Let's hope that the elders let's pray that the elders will intervene and pray for our country so that we can have peace.
Thank you. If you just joining us, welcome to the Issues Room. We are
Thank you, Mr. Douglas.
broadcasting our 192nd edition here this evening, live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, and our Issues Room page. We'd like to welcome all of you who are present with us tonight. We're having a great conversation here with the panel. Honorable Maurice Dugley has just joined us, and he has given his take on the matter and put forth his position as it relates to the current situation in the country, particularly the results of the elections. We're here Tuesdays and Fridays, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and 11 p.m. in Liberia. We are the Issues Room, the alternative social media platform discussing the things that matter. We came to being for this purpose, and that is why we're here. We'd like to welcome Flomo Livingstone. Thank you for joining us. Namiento Nino Brown. Thank you, Fergie Moyu, Tony and Brooks. We say thank you to Mohammed Kroma, Adiaha Umo in Australia. We say thank you for joining us. Yumontro Krenga. It's a pleasure seeing you. It's been a while. And Eman Sumo, of course. Thank you for coming here tonight. And Cole Gloria Voka Moba. Thank you. Moses, as we continue the conversation here tonight, and Thomas Awaji just joined us. Thank you, Thomas, for coming in. As we continue, Alfonso, let me just mute you because that white air is so loud. When it's time for
Yeah.
you to speak, I will put you through. Something is going on with your situation there. I don't know if you have an air conditioner on or it's just a serious white air that may require grounding your system. But we will address that at some point. But again, let's come back to the conversation. The people are anxious. That's what is happening. If Mr. Douglas has asked what's happening on the grounds, it's the anxiety.
The fear, yeah.
The people, no, it's not the fear. It's not a matter of the fear. It's the anxiety of let's get over with this.
Yeah,
We've done
they
our
want to know. Mhm.
We've done our part. Bring the results. Bring the results. The pace by which the results are coming is not pleasing to the Liberian people. And these are the things that make people to start speculating and start to draw hypotheses. And so I think that in as much as we talked about the timeline that the Elections Commission has with regards to the 15-day and accordingly, the absolute day of final report will be on October 25th. So that's what's happening right now.
Well, look, the law says within 15 days. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to wait until 15 days. You
Correct.
could do this in 5 days. You could do it in 3 days. They just give you that window period that within 15 days. And unfortunately, the chair of the commission has misinterpreted this law. Whenever journalists ask her, she tells them, do you know that we have 15 days? That's what she says. And I heard from someone that Taylor, went to Louis Ground School of Law. Again, I'm not trying to question her education, but if you went to law school, then you have a good understanding of what it means. When someone says within, it doesn't say 15 days. The law says within 15 days. And what has even further uh, increased the problem of anxiety in the country is all this news that we're hearing, the president sending a helicopter to bring people from Granger County, reportedly, mentioning the name of former generals, going to the Tari Center for the UP, to attack people there. And General Bodnick and all the guys are coming on. So that Mr. Douglas said, I mean, this is scary. And unfortunately, the president says nothing. I don't know. What would be your advice, Mr. Douglas, on
That's
that?
before we come to Mr. Douglas. Let's hear from Alfonso. Yes, came.
Okay, yeah.
The
Uh,
dead.
uh,
Continue.
Thank you. So, as I said before, again, what all of you have said, Mr. Ducle, you, Moses, and Volcano, everybody's correct. I think the delay is not helping the system. The delay by the election commission in announcing the results is creating a lot of tension, anxiety in the country, and that's not good for the country. That's not good for our peace. It also really opens the door for people to do a lot of unscrupulous things. So now you have, everybody releasing election results, everybody giving a list of places and counties that they say they won, etc., etc. So I think the delay by the election commission is really impacting the process. Is leaving room for people to do a lot of nefarious things, and it's creating a lot of anxiety among the Liberian people. But as I said before, and I want to repeat here, that there's nothing. I haven't seen any law. Maybe there is. I don't claim to know every provision in the election law of Liberia, but I haven't seen any law that says that only the election commission can announce results of elections or whatever people have in their possession. As a matter of fact, there's an intent to that law, and that intent, the intent of the election law, saying that candidates, the first two or three candidates, should get copies of tally sheets at polling places. The intent of the law saying that the election magistrate should post a copy of the tally sheet at each polling place is that so the public can know, so the people can know, so the people in the community who voted there can know the result of their vote in that community. So the public knows what's happened in the election process. That's an announcement of result in and of itself already. So again, not knowing of any regulation that prevents anybody from announcing election results, and considering what the election commission is doing, selective announcement of results here and there, the delay in the process. If I was working or advising any of the other political parties who have legitimate tally sheets in their possessions, I would go ahead and announce them. I would start buying spaces in newspapers and publishing the actual tally sheets with everybody's signature on them. There's nothing. Nobody, again, there's no law in my view. I mean, I want to challenge, I know some media houses are doing that, but I wish that they would focus, and do that well and more openly and transparently. If the tally sheets are posted at polling places, just go and take pictures of them. Just go and get copies of them and publish them. You are a media house. There's nobody's going to come after you and say, why you publish it? It's public record. That's the reason why it's posted on the wall. So again, I don't understand why Front Page Africa, Daily Observer, whatever newspaper, News Public Trust are not even doing this service, not this service, but this service for the Liberian people by going and publishing whatever the records are. I'm sure the records are still available at polling places for people to see. Go and take copies and do the tabulation. The only thing the Election Commission should be doing now is tabulation of those results.
Right, correct.
That's all they should be doing. So the results are already out there. Tabulate them and put them out there as well. They're not manufacturing any result. Nobody else is voting. Whatever is out there is what they should be announcing. Just you know, at this precinct we have 5 polling places. This is the number from the 5 tally sheets. You add those 5 numbers and you announce them. That's the tabulation process. So I don't understand why it's taking this long. Very quickly, Moses, the point you made about the 15-day window that Mistress Brown Lasana is talking about. Again, when that law was made, we didn't have the level of technology we have today. As
Man,
I said before.
simplify that. Yeah.
Yeah. So it it was intended to accommodate the time in which we lived. We
That's
don't
what I
live,
said. Yeah.
we don't live in that time anymore. Now we have technology. A magistrate can make a phone call from wherever where we
From
never
Roy G. Yeah.
had anything before. A magistrate can simply use a solar panel and turn the lights on, which is what they did in some places to count the votes, and fax a tally sheet over to the election commission office. They don't have to wait to get on a Renault bus or on a truck that takes 5 days or 10 days before it gets there. So that argument that we have 15 days, first of all, is it's really arrogant, it's disingenuous, it doesn't take into consideration the realities on the ground in the country, which are the tension and the fighting. People died in the election process. And you think you should be holding results while the tension builds up because the law gives you 15 days? Where is the service element? The service element to country and to people. I think that's lost in that statement. And as Mr. Douglas said, we should start calling Sister Mary Lauren Brown and other people who have influence over David and say, do the right thing, announce the results as they are, and save the country.
Man.
Quickly, the other thing that and with all of this conversation, having attended the press conference from yesterday, one of the things that the commissioner decided to correct was percentages, not from the presidency or the Senate, but from the lower house. The percentages were printed wrong, but the votes were correct and the results were correct. It's just the percentages. So when you look at those kinds of things, if you're taking this long, then there should be no error. Then there should be no room for error. Now, if you were bringing the votes fast and people are, and you say, oh, so again,
I mean, there are
these
just
people
too
need to
many
work.
flaws, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they need
Yeah.
to
Too
work.
many
So yeah,
flaws.
let's hear from you, Mr.
Yeah.
Duque.
Go ahead, Mr. Douglas.
Well, there are a lot of things happening in Liberia. Uh, if one wants to listen to the conspiracies, there are people determined to ensure that if Joseph Walker wins the election, he doesn't become president. So on the one hand, they want to create a situation where a transitional government is brought into place. Because as you guys have already said, uh, yeah, and as Francis said finally, the tally sheets are not the individual ballots. Every precinct has a number of polling places. You take the individual tally sheets. If you want to total them twice, you add them up and then you put it into the whole. That shouldn't take long. But that apart, trying to bring, Grand Crew. I know the road to Grand Crew. Bring Grand Crew's result, and I bring bombing result info,
Yeah.
Kidman result. No, that's
So,
that's that's a
so, so,
scheme that
so,
is exposed.
so let me throw this out here. And one of our Ivy viewer, yeah, he seemed a little edgy tonight. He asked the question: if calls can be made to get results, then why are you guys complaining about the election results coming in faster from the southeastern counties? Fergie, if calls can be made, then why are results not coming in from Cape Mount that have
Yeah.
more hours than the southeastern? Why results are not
And
coming
I
in
come
from
from Maserati.
when Maserati is the cream of the crop of these elections? So of course, yes, uh, it's just the fact that the optics around these drag and the cherry picking of the results coming in from certain region that you just declared was difficult to reach. The whole elections and even with a phone call, what is the mechanism in place? You couldn't hold the election prior now, but you can tally vote quick to make the
From
phone call.
mhm.
Let's talk about that. So
Go
I
ahead,
mean
Mr.
that's
Zulu.
the issue.
Yeah.
So that's the issue. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not about the fact that you can make the call, but is how did you get those numbers that quick when you couldn't even hold the election prior to, and now you're able to check quick, and you call and
Yeah,
say
and
yes, the result.
releasing the
Then you got
audit.
right on the other side here, Tony Ambrosia complaining. Yeah, that I
Cape
even hear
Man.
nothing from
No,
Cape.
nothing from Cape Man. No.
So, well, so Cape Man would be the tiebreaker, the holding Cape Man to be the
No,
tiebreaker or something. So, come in, Mr. Dugla.
Go ahead,
no,
Mr. Zulu.
they're not smart. The commissioners are not smart. Because these little games will see through them. Uh, why will you release Grand Crew? No one has anything against Grand Crew. I don't. I have good friends in Barclayville. I work in Barclayville trying to make sure that the hostel is successful, independent. So I have good friends in Barclayville. Uh, so that it's not about Grand Crew, but it's just a distance between Grand Crew and Monrovia, and between Cape Mount and Monrovia.
Yeah.
It's not even half. It's about a third of it. If you want to be generous with the distance, why should Cape Mount not be completed by now? Why should Bomi not be completed by now? Bomi is 45 minutes drive, you know. But these are counties where GNB perform beyond expectation. And so they are suppressing his votes because they want to create a simple narrative that Weah is winning. And that's dangerous for the peace of the country. And that is my concern. Liberia is playing with Liberia's peace. And I warned her before, don't toy with Liberia's peace. I'm repeating that warning. Because it's a no-win situation for anyone to bring war to Liberia again. We are tired. We
Come
are
in,
tired.
Moses.
Sure. I mean, I absolutely agree with Fing. And let me put this to everybody. I'll begin with Mr. Ducle. What would you say about the silence of the president? Well, all these things are happening, Mr. Ducle.
But for 6 years, this president has been silent. When will he begin to talk?
But
You
now,
know,
right now, we have the peace of the country.
Moses, there
Yeah,
are situations that should have led the president to speak. The son of the longest serving president of Liberia, John Hillary Tubman, was killed in cold blood. Not a word. William Richard Talbot III was killed, not a word from Mr. Weah. And I'm not counting Bati Nuswa was in my church, a member of St. Peter's Lutheran. So I'm not talking about the ordinary people, but these are significant national figures.
yeah.
Two sons of two former presidents killed, not a word from President Weah. I don't know whether a report was issued, and everything the international partners say, you pursue the route of justice. The justice system is rotten. I say so. Because except for maybe one or two members of the Supreme Court, but the rest are all compromised because of ethnic consideration. Okay, so I won't be so. I'm not surprised that he's not talking. Uh, One could sort of conjecture that perhaps uh, he wants that to happen because the president will now speak to ask for calm and to
Yes.
reassure the people that whoever wins will be the president, that is willing to leave office. I don't hear anything. In fact, they are celebrating that he has won already.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So they're tempting Liberian people. You know, but I want to repeat that any Liberian blood that is spilled will be on President Weah's hand, on the other Brown's hand, on the hands of all the commissioners of the election commission because they ought to speak out. Is it for a few dollars they're giving them? Where is their integrity? Where is their patriotism to the country? They are Liberians. They have people in Liberia. They're not going to selectively kill people and leave the commissioner's relatives. If war comes, it comes to everybody. Is the situation in Liberia compels people to say things they don't want to say. But you can't bring war to Liberia after we have gone through 14 years of bloodshed. We're nowhere in the country to hide. Claiming the statistics say 250,000, but I say more than 300,000. There were many people who just ran from the gunshots and went and died in the bush. Died from hunger. Died from small illnesses. So, I'm not surprised that President Weah is not speaking. I will speak, because this is the time for leadership.
Yeah.
Reassure the nation that elections will be completed and the delays notwithstanding, that the election will be accurate, the counts will be real, will be manufactured, that Apeton is self-generated, will not, because we want to track the record, as people are already doing the research. Where did Apeton campaign? When did he register? Who is he? Who are his funding sources? I hear former leaders of the country are involved in this scheme, encouraging President Weah not to yield.
Sad.
This is unfortunate. I don't want to call names now, but the next time I appear, they force me, I'll call names.
It's very unfortunate.
And to tell them to stop. Because the personality of Joseph Walker is someone that goes after people. If I didn't know Uncle Joe well, I would never have endorsed him. Because I don't need anything from him. I don't need anything from anybody. But he's a good man, good, decent man, peaceful man. Both he and his wife, I know them personally. They are people of strong faith. He's not going to go running after people or have his government functionaries run after people because he has a vendetta. But people are afraid of their own shadows.
All right. So
Let them
let's
leave Joe in peace. Let them leave the election process in peace. If Uncle Joe has won and he be declared president, let's have peace. Let's try to rebuild Liberia.
Since you made that statement, I want to quickly come in and say that yesterday the Unity Party at its campaign headquarters on the airfield New Road in Bangkok Town, uh, from the look of things, they made an emphatic declaration that they won the presidency. Um, at the press conference at the National Elections Commission, a journalist brought it up, and Derrida was very emphatic that we are the only ones that can make declaration of who has won these elections. The case from Darius DeLong was that he had a plastic bag of tally sheets and said we already have what we know, and that is why we're confident if they're going to do anything different from what we have, uh, it's not going to go down well with us. Let's talk about that quickly before we end up leaving here tonight. Um, is a sensible thing to do by any political party to begin to say that they have won the elections? Um, Folks are arguing, and I was in conversation where people said, listen, if I already have my tally sheet, I know. Some people made an example of taking the test, and you got your grades, but the principal got to come with a funnel to say, okay, you passed, but you already knew you passed because you had your test paper. And that's the premise a lot of them are acting on. Let's start with Alfonso and go around the room.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I think that again. I think I said it before. The reason why political parties.
Is it premature for UP or any
No,
political
no,
party?
I do not think it is. In fact, I would have gone further than what the Unity Party did. So they went to the public, they brought some sheets and said, these are the tally sheets or these are copies of the tally sheets. I would have gone further. What I would have done is I would have already done my tabulation and say, for example, from Bombing County, District number 1, precinct number 0056, four polling places. At polling place number 1, we got this vote, etc. Do all of the calculation and put it out there. There's nothing that stops you from putting it out there. Now, I haven't seen any law. I think what the law says is that the election commission announces official results and declare winners. They declared winners from the official results. That's all it says. It doesn't say that. What if Spoon TV or what if the issues room had the capacity to go around and take pictures of all the tally sheets that are posted and announce them? What would they do? Nothing. It's not a violation of the law. So it's simply for I think they talk about political parties or candidates should not announce results. The idea is that then everybody starts to announce results, including fake numbers, and then you create confusion in the process. That is the reason why people are saying, don't announce, let's wait for the election commission. But I will argue that that is applicable to different situations. What we have right now is a tense situation in which the election commission seems to be playing games with our fragile peace and our fragile democracy, arguing that because the law said 15 days, so they must wait to the end of 15 days before they announce election results, cherry picking the announcement of election results. Um, that's unhealthy on several levels, and therefore I don't think that the Unity Party is wrong to showcase tally sheets and say as far as they're concerned they're winning. People do that all the times in every democracy around the world. In America they do it. They don't wait for anybody to announce results. People come and say declare themselves winner, and other people concede and they move on. I guess we're not Liberia is probably not at that stage yet because we're not our democracy hasn't matured and we're not as stable. But I hope that we get to that place very soon where that happens and we don't have to wait. Well, I think we put too much power and control in the hands of the election commission to the point that they think they can control the process, including even election outcomes. So let's sit down for our hand and wait for them. Now, if they announce faulty results, Then we run to Supreme Court. I think we should take that off by putting the results out there as they are already, so that that power that they have is diminished. That power that they have to determine who win and who didn't win is diminished, and is again reinserted in the hands of the people.
That's a very great point. And let me come back to Honorable Douglas, and we'll come to Moses. Uh, Great point here. Take the power away from the National Elections Commission, Alfonso said, and that will put them at a compromise, because then they cannot, try to manipulate anything, and the masses can run with what political parties and institutions are putting up. What do you think, Mr. Douglas?
Yeah, I agree with Alfonso, and I will add that that what UP did was just a warning to NAC to say we have the facts. Don't try to change them, because quite honestly, I don't trust the Supreme Court. There are recent records of cases if rule on inferior the government. I don't trust it. They impeach innocent people, and so I think it's it, and I will agree. will publish it in as a spread as center spread in many newspapers. They're not declaring that they have won. Just saying here's the result. By the numbers we have, we think at the end of the day we're going to win. I think that's our statement. When everything else is done, the numbers are all in. Let the world know that we will win because we have the numbers, and that's a deterrent. It will have a deterrent effect on NEC if they have any sense, because they will know that if they cook the number as they are trying to do, UP going to object to it, and UP going to have many sympathizers all around the world who observe the election, who follow the election results when they were being released at a local level, and so they should be wise.
Okay, Moses, let's hear from you.
Yeah, I would just like to piggyback on what Mr. Douglas said. It is true. What the Unity Party did yesterday came as a result of what the ruling party started doing. The campaign chairman, Eugene Nangbe, and others, they started fabricating, stories out there. They started throwing numbers at people. George Weah has been able to achieve this number for, creating the impression that the ruling party has already won the election. So in order, to undo what the ruling party was doing, it was based on that the Unity Party went forward and say, hey, we have 30 sheets from 90, we have 90% of the 30 sheets. I mean, we have 30 sheets for 90% of precincts that shows that we actually perform. So that was intended to undo what, and since those guys came up with that information yesterday, Mr. Name and the others have stopped throwing numbers out there, because now they know that there's nothing that they can do to cook the number. Now the game is being played by the NEC, because like every one of you have said, why would you leave Monserrato and focus on Grand Cru? Why would you leave Grand Cape Makane and spend all your time on Sino
River View.
County? Yeah, you came and you told the people that, hey, you have problem in Sino. Election in Sino, in some of the areas in Sino, was actually held on Wednesday because they have problem. And today you come with this number from Sano, they're rather putting
We are in a comfortable
we are
league.
comfortable league. So what's going on? I agree. I agree that the law provides that, hey, the only thing you can do as a party is to declare that, hey, I am the winner. But you can announce based on the data that you have. And the Unity Party has that information. That's the challenge for the NDC. That's the challenge for the ruling party. How are they going to, undo that? I don't know what kind of strategy they're going to, employ in proving what they are throwing out there to people, because these people have all of their title sheets signed officially by NEC officials. So now, except you can come and say, oh, well, we didn't sign these title sheets. But there were monitors, international monitors that were there. There were pool watchers that were there when your people signed. I would like to stop there.
Well, I think we've discussed this in a bunch.
Mhm.
Uh, we'll look forward to Tuesday's conversation. Maybe by then, a whole lot of the numbers will come, and hopefully, Grand Cape Mount County, Tony and Brooks, will be announced for the first time.
And
But
and bombing counter too. Bombing
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
is
No,
for the caucus.
Bonny County has been receiving some numbers.
Yeah,
All
some
the,
some
you
some numbers been coming
know,
up, but not as expected.
Oh, okay. I did
Yeah.
not know
but
that.
I think
Mhm.
we looked at the issues that we wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
So at this time, we'll go to memory lane, and Dr. Mani Suma has written one here this evening titled "Drinking Wine While Counting Ballots." Drinking
May,
wine.
may I? May I?
But
May
yeah,
I?
so before Mr.
Well,
Dugley
no,
leaves,
no,
or
no,
maybe
no.
he wants to
What do you
close.
want to say?
Yeah. Yeah, he wanted to say something. Yeah.
No, I just wanted to thank you guys. I had told Moses that
Yeah.
one of my daughters was flying in. She came, but I can't even hug her because
Yeah, yeah.
she's back
Oh,
in the
yeah.
room. So thank you so much. We'll be in touch, and I
Yeah,
wish you guys
Thank
all
you.
the best. And let's pray for Liberia.
Thank you,
thank you.
sir. It was a pleasure
Thank you.
having you.
Uh,
Good.
Alfonso, my press officer was, is he your brother?
Yeah, that Taino's brother.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah, he's my older brother.
Okay,
yeah,
where is he?
yeah. He's in
He's in,
Canada.
Okay, tell him I say hello. That's my son.
I will let him know. I will let him know.
A good young man.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you.
All right.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
you
Take care,
Thank
guys
you.
have a
Mr.
blessed
Dugley.
evening, and
You
let's
too.
pray for our country.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I let me just see what happening here. Frederick, when you say, so what I'm understanding from you guys is when the number is in JMB favor, it is not a problem. But when the CDC takes the lead, then it's a problem, right? Well, Frederick, we like to give people the benefit of the doubt. We have never declared anybody who's in the lead or not in the lead. We're only discussing the issues surrounding how these votes are being produced or the numbers are being produced. You have counties that within proximity of Monrovia with paved roads
Mhm.
to Grand Cape Mount, and you have places that you can barely reach in the southeastern region. That's all we're saying here. So it has nothing to do with numbers and who's in favor and who's not in favor. At the end of the day, whatever the Liberian people have decided, that is what you and myself will live with. That's all. So we'll move on to memory lane again. As I said, Manisumo wrote here, drinking wine while counting ballots. How I remember upriver. Do you remember upriver? Let's go down memory lane. By that time, Liberia was sweet. We had upriver Dumboy, Gola Dumboy, Bassa Dumboy, Va Cassava Leaf, Loma Tobogi or Tobosoye, Mandingo, Zuma, and Moni Kalama. Then he said, how can we forget the smoked fish, the dry rice, the upriver crab fish gravy, the crew palm butter versus the gribble palm butter? Our bigger girls ate Uncle Ben rice, ice cream, and fried chicken. But they too ate porter, but ashamed to be seen eating porter. Our Sandy girls graduated from the Sandy and paraded the village square with chalks on their bodies and exposed boobs, while our elite girls jumped from their private cars with their Jacob ladder. My first job in Monrovia was a porter maker, and I was assigned behind Zuwon police station near Bonmines Bridge. Later, I was employed as a fishing net puller on Popo Beach, and so I can attest. By that time, we had care food made from bulgur wheat and salt fish, pork, and Crisco oil. After the national elections, I watched the elites drink wine as they counted ballots already favored, excuse me, President Todman. Then on Sunday, they went to church to give thanks and glory to God. They jubilantly sang their amazing songs and hymns. Sinners, where were you when my good Lord was here? He had
Yeah, like you're frozen.
his sermon under the theme, Drink a Little Wine for the Stomach's Sake. His sermon was referenced to the book of First Timothy 5:23, when Paul told Timothy to no longer drink exclusively.
I know having internet connectivity with Volcano is obviously going to come back. Uh, yes, memory lane with Dr. Augustine Smo. We're having internet connectivity with Volcano, who is currently in Monrovia, Liberia. But I want to say thank you for coming. It was a pleasure having all of you here this evening. We came, we had a privilege of having the former Minister of State for
We're
Presidential
good,
Affairs,
Moses. Moses, we're
Mr.
good.
Morris Duclay. Yeah.
We're
Now
good.
let's go back to Volcano. Continue.
So, as I was saying, the preacher man climaxed by calling on the congregation to go home in peace and celebrate a counting of election ballots because God has spoken and he, God, had given Liberia a leader in whom he trusts. Did the Lord ever speak to any Liberian in such a manner? Y'all be the judge. But the preacher man referenced the scripture by saying God gave the Levites the best of Israel's wine as a blessing. Numbers 18, verse 12. He promised to give Israel wine as a blessing for obedience. Deuteronomy chapter 7, verses 13, 11, chapter 11, verses 14. Moses described the promised land as a land of grain and wine in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 33, 28. And so God has given us this land because of our love for liberty, and this land shall long be ours. They were drinking wine as the ballots were counted. They were drinking wine when our future was counted. On one side of town, I watched them danced and the night, rather dance the night away with music like Jolomi and Solomi and Bonasuba, which the elites dance to the letters of James Brown. Are we drinking wine today as we count the ballots of October 10, 2023 elections? We are drinking wine as we count. Drinking wine? Drinking wine? Long time ago, they were drinking wine. To all the influencers, keep drinking wine, but let neck be free from intrusion. The Liberian people have spoken. Go eat your food with gladness and drink your wine with a joyful heart, for God has already approved what you do. Ecclesiastes chapter 9, verses 7. God has given you the power to vote, and no man should take your God given rights away. We have voted wise. We have voted right. We have voted our future. It is time that NEC count our vote right. We have shown our patriotism by voting right. It is time for NEC to show your patriotism by counting right. You can help to make that boy who is pulling net on Popo Beach to become a doctor, an author, or a statesman. That girl who is hawking in the streets to make living to become a nurse, a senator, representative, or even a president. They were drinking wine while deciding our future, a coming peace. And there's a piece here written by Eman Sumo, a contributor to the Issues Room. He sends us Memory Lane. This one is titled Drinking Wine While Counting Ballots.
Another great piece.
So Moses, let me go backstage. Alfonso is there. What type of country is this? What type
Yeah.
of country is this? You just said that you couldn't reach the southeastern region to have elections. The river stopped you from crossing. The road cut. No canoe. And now you can send in the results. What
Can
type
you,
of country is this?
yeah, what type of country is this? What type of country is this when you have a very tense situation in a country following an election, process, and the president says nothing to reassure the people that hey, all is well, all will be okay. We'll do everything to make sure that we go through this successfully. What type of country is this?
What type of country is this that Big Boy Appleton is just knocking other people down?
Yeah, what type of country is this? The guy called Apeton just came from nowhere, man, beating Gonglo. I mean, my man Gonglo to lead the race.
Well, I'm,
The man you say Gonglo, what's about comments
how
that you
about
gave me
comments,
here?
man?
No, Tommy has now officially left the race, but
No,
Gonglo left the race.
no,
That
but
because Apeton.
no Volcano. Come, you know what is happening? Coming is holding his ground. He being G. But my man coming in never pops over on the radar. When the people are calling results, you don't hear the Zana coming. All you hear is zero.
No, then the poor can tell the reporter say, no, don't announce zero. Once the
Yeah.
person said that much, then leave it.
and then the issue a horrible press statement is that they have concern that the man name is not coming up.
Oh, God.
Whatever country is there, you spend all that money, my man, and they can't come out.
But Apeton who even did not have campaign.
No.
That the man tapping there, my man.
Yeah.
What type of country is this?
The
You
man,
see,
the man
but
never campaign, my man.
the Simeon Fremont of all people, he's been around long.
Yeah.
Can Apeton beat Simeon Fremont on any count? Can Apeton beat Lucini Camara on any count? What type of country is
What
this?
type of country is this? What
Man,
type
what's
of
about
country?
Sarah Baslow?
Sir, Ambassador Yankee.
Now, but Sarah Bash, you got 0.00.0.000.0 votes.
Sarah disappear.
Sir,
My man, Apeton nullifying people votes. Oh.
I said,
My man, the man have become popular
I
overnight.
my appetite finished with no people. None of them will run again. the humiliation that coming to suffer right now.
Let's go to what type of country is this? Adia Omo. What type of country is this that every election will be a problem? I can relate.
Yeah, my man.
Huh?
Every election.
And
Idea.
interestingly, the fact that they said this election using the people were very consequential,
Yeah.
then all precautions should be taken
Take it to prevail.
sure
Yeah.
and nothing goes out of hand. But let's go to Flomo Livingston. What type of country is this that NEC is forgetting about one county results?
Yeah.
And a grandkid man.
Yeah, Grand
What
Kima,
country is this?
yeah. No,
You
they
get
are
my
now called
people.
grandkid mama, man.
Yeah, you
Whatever
can't
country
keep
is
my
this,
people. You
Othello,
go from there to say that.
whatever country is this, Othello Dillon, the president can't dance buka when results are being announced. By the time he's going to be dancing.
Whatever
Thomas
country.
Awachi,
Yeah.
whatever country is this, after all the noise, come is not even in the photo.
Whatever country is this, the coming people are planning for 2029.
You already believe it. But where the general are? The general who are passing on
The general was saying, general said they want to be the man by 2029.
the general Monique Michel.
Yeah. He said, Mr. Coming will come by 2029.
By the time, by the time 2029 read them, man, like Volcano, then I'll prepare to jump in the race. Let the man talk back.
I'm going to say Johnny in the race, man. When I
Between me
can't
and
come,
you,
there's no
eh?
chance, man.
Between me and you, I bet you
Yeah.
and myself go neck to neck.
2029, as soon as I come and join the race, we'll put Apple join the race too.
Cummins, we ate all your money.
He's scared of Apple. He's scared
Yeah.
of
The
Whatever
people ate
country
coming
is
money
this,
on Charo.
we got a few here. Let's go through them quick. Whatever country is this? That some polling places, CPP poll watchers didn't vote for Mr. Cummings.
Yes. Because if you get it zero, then means that your pool watch never for them.
Yeah. So
maybe he didn't even have full watch
that's
on
a good
that.
point. That's a good point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a very good point.
Yeah. Yeah. Manasumo, whatever country is this? His name is Appleton, the new spoiler on the block.
Apple.
Liberia. Whatever country is this? Where the ruling party have fake tally sheets on Facebook.
What type of country is this? When election is over, the president saying he's saying it's his helicopter to bring generals down.
So I heard today. That they don't even have all the tally sheets, so that now they're going to home and other places to see if they can collect tally sheets. CDC. And some of the beginning and the pull on the field. I heard today. I hold in the tally sheet and say, "Yeah, give me 5,000 before I release the."
Oh, really?
Oh, but my man chopping in the election.
But nobody.
But in fact, they say the money no balls and put aside with the hope for second round. That's small money.
Yeah.
Wow.
They say the money will come. Now they can't wait to get second round.
But my man, Volcano, they think that do or die. If they
But
get people the opportunity for second round, they will not pay salary, they will not pay attention to anything. All they're going to focus on is what? Second round. They will just throw money in it. They want to spend $50 million.
I want
You should
small.
be thinking about almost $200 million now that they will spend.
But Richard, if they don't pay salary, then they're digging themselves because
My man,
all
the
the
people will
civil
not pay
servant,
salary, man.
Oh,
So
my man,
just think for your own
let
back.
all the civil servant went against them.
it run up. But let's go back to whatever country is this. Whatever country is this that the men in the camp they vest. They say AFC, I was telling you, you don't let Prince Johnson go. AFC the men are getting in my country to JMB.
Oh, my man, what type of country is this that the people in the camp they're getting angry with the chair of the elections commission? They say we can't afford to take this. The old man wants to disgrace us.
Appleton were not in the race, JMB winning. We got Appleton taking somebody numbers.
Of course, my man. People mistaking their voting for the man, my man.
Flomo Livingston, whatever country is this that some government officials are looting their offices? That's what we're hearing.
Mm-hmm.
People are not taking things out of the offices.
I got it audio here. You want me to play it?
No. We in whatever country is this.
Yeah.
Whatever country is this, Sumo, the ruling party government officials packing their computers and office equipment ahead of the final results.
Yeah.
So
And
that
then,
means no,
yeah, and then the question that comes now, what if you go for second round and you win the second round? Then what do?
They
You have
bring
to
everything back.
you have to
But that-
restore everything that these people have taken away.
Or is it any same people retain the jobs? They will bring the computer
They
them
will
back.
go and bring their computers and things.
Mhm.
Yeah, they said some of those boys, my man, the cars and all, they are taking the place off. Oh.
But gentlemen, man, listen, we covered 2 hours.
Yeah,
It's
that's good. It
one
was
o'clock
good.
here in the morning,
Yeah.
about. So let's just go
Yeah.
around the room 1 minute each and then call it a night. So from
Yeah.
my end, let me start. I usually
Mhm.
give you guys the opportunity. Being on the grounds, I think again, my concern is the continued uh, anxiety of the people. People
Yeah.
want to get over this thing. They have done their part. They've lined the polling places and they voted. Albeit they know exactly the outcome of these elections and why it is true. Only two people in these elections will make it to the top. All that thing Apiton doing now, he will not go closer to the two men.
No.
So you hurry up, Elections Commission, hurry up. Don't wait until October 25th. Try your best to put the people's anxiety away so that
Agree.
they can move on with their lives.
Yeah.
Many people right now, they have spent everything because of the pre-election violence that took place. Some people were being very, very uh, careful and wanted to be safe. People went and bought food. People went and bought water.
Everything.
People emptied the supermarkets. Most of the supermarkets made money prior to election day.
Yeah.
And so you can imagine those people are still hanging on and just want this thing over with so they can move on with their lives.
I
That's my
agree.
position. Let's hurry up and get these results in.
You are 100% right. I agree with you 100% that right now, what is happening in the country, the future of most people, especially those in government, the future right now is in limbo. They're not sure whether they're going to stay, they're not sure whether they're going to be a new administration. That's why it's important that the Elections Commission hasten this process, move a little bit faster so that the anxiety level can drop. Because right now, some people are not even eating. Some people are not sleeping well. Because the first thing they wake up in the morning is, oh my man, what did people say again? And, and you want to reduce the level of tension in the country. So I would like to appeal to the Elections Commission and the leadership. Mr. We are at least make Liberian shame. Make us shame this time. Man the podium. If you can do it tomorrow, you can even do it on a Sunday. Let the people write 5 minute speech for you, man. Just reassure your people that look, this thing is under control. It will be okay. Go about your normal activities. And that's how I would like to wrap it.
Yeah, thank you guys. I think for kind of an important point, again, I want to thank the people of Liberia in spite of the few incidents of violence. The election process went off without any major incident of violence, especially on election day. And a lot of people turned out to vote. We saw some of the videos. So want to commend the Liberian people for their enthusiasm and for embracing democracy, especially the electoral process. I want to join you all on calling on the people who are now in charge of the process to follow the law and to do what's required of them and let the will of the Liberian people prevail. Again, Volcano, thank you. We've kept you up, I think, up to 1 o'clock now in Liberia.
Yeah.
So thanks for all that you do. And good night, everybody.
Good night,
Thank you,
gentlemen.
Eruptible.
Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Enjoy, my
Thank
man. It was a pleasure.
Let me just
All right.
quickly run this by my folks here. I'd like to thank you guys for coming out here tonight, Liberia. Thank you for joining the show, Flomo Livingston. My name is Sumo. It was good seeing you, Thomas. Hope everything is going well for you out there in Georgia. Thank you, Adiaha Umo from Australia. Always good to see you, Othello Dillon. Thanks for stopping by. Frederick Monyu, as usual. It's good seeing you, Bendu Hunter. Tony and Brooks, we say thank you for coming in here tonight. It's always a pleasure having you folks around. Amir to Brown, just joining us here is important, because when we come here, we're doing this for all of us. Montreal Kringa, thank you for coming out here tonight to hang out with us. Kawu Gloria Vocal Moba, it's good to see you. And Mohammed Kroma, thank you too for joining us here tonight. There's just one person that hasn't been here for a while, Yeko U Harris. It was good seeing you, my brother, watching from Philadelphia. Thank you for joining us. Again, we say good night. We'll be back here Tuesday, God's willing. And by then, there will be more results. Hopefully, Grand Cape Mount County can make the list of reports coming in from the tallying. So we like to thank all of you. Join us on Tuesday for another presentation. Volcano Shelton here, live from Monrovia, Liberia.